Hi there, Chris here, another quick tip for you all. In this video we're going to continue our look at painting the Silver Tower Warhammer Quest box set models. In this video we're going to start with the Fire Slayer Doomseeker. And as you can see here, he's already been primed in a black using Vallejo Surface Primer. That was applied by the airbrush using a Patriot 105, spraying it around 25 psi. And we are going to base coat his flesh in Bugman's Glow. This is a base color. It's going to sit right on top of the black. We will have to apply 2 layers, as I have thinned it out with just a little bit of water. And so just for even coverage. There are these little runes that are all over his flesh, and I just pretty much just cover right over each of them. But because we're applying multiple thin layers, you don't really have to worry about too much about obscuring the little details and the edges on those runes. But do be mindful that they are there. And so again, when we are applying multiple layers, you want to be really cautious and really careful about obscuring details. Next, we're going to come in with some Reikland Flesh Shade. This is the regular Reikland Flesh Shade. This is not the gloss version of it. The gloss version would be very shiny, and I don't think we'd really want to do that. So this is going to dry nice and matte on the flesh. Of course, if you only have the gloss version, well then by all means use that. And as you can see here, we're simply just going to apply a fairly generous coating over the entire of the model, allowing some of those areas to build up around the little crevices in his joints and his muscles, and we really don't want it to pool up in any areas other than maybe in behind the ankle or anywhere, you know, kind of like that. But otherwise, we're not looking for it to kind of deepen up too much areas. Maybe in the finger joints, in between the toes, things like that. Cadian Fleshtone is next, and this is going to be used with a little bit of medium to help thin it out. I started off with a bit of a glaze and started to build up a bit of a transition, and if you were to continue in such a fashion, which I would recommend to get a nice smooth skin tone. Of course, when you are glazing, you are pushing the color into where you want it to be the brightest, and so on the shoulder muscles, I build the highlights down towards the bicep. On the bicep, I pretty much build up everywhere around the bicep, just close to the elbow joint, where I still leave a little bit darker color. On the forearm, usually allow a little bit of separation on those forearm muscles, and of course the hands and fingers, I allow more of the color to build up from the fingertips inwards towards the wrist, allowing it to stay darker in towards the wrist. The feet, I build it out from the toes and the top of the foot out towards the ankle. Of course, we highlight the top of the ankle, the tops of the calves, top of the thigh, and as well as top of the kneecap. Basically allowing a lot of that deep color to remain within the recesses of wherever you have like kind of muscle separations and such. And of course, if you are glazing, as I mentioned before, you'll get a much smoother transition in there, which will lead to a very smooth kind of skin tone. Kislev Flesh is next, and this is simply just going to be a little edge highlighting around some areas. I started to highlight the little runes on his flesh, as I really wasn't certain I was going to go about it in the way he's done in the artwork. But I figured I was going to do something else, maybe kind of make it look like it was like a branded or a scarring kind of thing on his flesh. But then halfway through it, I decided I'll do the gold. So here you can see I'm simply just getting the ends of the fingertips, the thumb, the webbing on the hand as well. You see the top of the bicep and the shoulder muscles, very, very minimal highlight. You see top of the thigh and the knee, again, very minimal highlight. And then again, I use a little bit more medium again, and I use it like a glaze, and I just get a little bit of a smoother transition in between some points that I just wasn't entirely happy with. Again, so if you are laying the edge highlight down and you find it is just too much of a step there for you, yeah, just turn your color into a glaze and then just get 1 or 2 glazes in there, and it'll give that a nice little transition there. Eggrax Earthshade is next, and I'm using this just to separate the runes on his flesh. The Reikland Flesh Shade, as I mentioned before, as when we were highlighting, we kind of got into some points there, and it was colored like the flesh, and so here I'm just re-separating them out so that I can kind of see where they are. And then we can come in and color them as they are on the box art. Gena Gold is next, and this is for the runes on his flesh. As I mentioned before, we're going to do them kind of like the box art, and so I figured a lot of people are going to do these guys like this. I thought it'd be more fun to do them more like a, branding or something like that, which also, would have been kind of fun as well. But I think it probably had kind of a dark appearance, whereas, you know, dwarves and their gold and these runes all over them, and who knows. I don't know if they crazy glue them onto themselves or what, but either way. We are just simply giving these icons on his flesh just a simple little base coating. And once we're done with that, we could also come in with some sepia and create some deeper shades on it if we wanted to. Again, it's quite a few layers to be putting onto that area, and you could end up hitting some other areas of the flesh and you'd have to kind of come back. So again, just be mindful of that. But once we have that base color laid out, we're going to come in with some Liberator Gold. This is going to be just a quick little highlight on each of those little points of the icons themselves. As you can see here, simply just come around, just catching kind of just the high points. Almost like a zenithal style type of thing, where we're just catching just the uppermost portions of the gold sections and leaving the bottom portions a little bit darker. And that way also too, the eye sees more of a color transition in those areas as well. Again, it'll look like we spent tons of time painting these things when really we didn't. We allow the colors to create those illusions for us. But once that is done, you're pretty much ready to go on to the next phase. We've got even more painting tutorials in the Silver MiniWarGaming Vault. You can watch another one today about how I finish off the hair on this guy's helmet. Just click the link in the video description below and watch it right now. If you don't have a MiniWarGaming Vault membership, you can click on the link and sign up for a free 7-day trial. Make sure you sign up for the Silver membership so that you can access painting tutorials and you'll get instant access to over 1,000 painting tutorials already in the vault. And so thank you for watching and happy wargaming.